Yo, what up, guys? Another Undead on Echo Isles. We're against a guy called Happy Fan, which... That's pretty nice stats, man. That's not nothing. I'm gonna go ahead and go for Paladin Rifle, which is a pretty good build against Undead. The only problem is I kind of forgot the build order. I tested the build order like, what, 2 months ago? And I did like a big video on it and everything, and I just freaking forgot. So I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna get it perfectly right. But it is what it is. We'll do our best. I just kind of wing it, as usual in my life. I wing things. Off I go then.
Ready to work. Forward. Yes, my lord. Righto. Yes, my lord. What? Off I go then. Is it? Forward. Yes, my lord. Forward. Righto. All right. Ready to off I go then.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure that was not fully efficient because we've got more lumber than we need. That's okay. Hey, thanks, Angelus. What about roaches? We don't have any roaches. The only pests we've had in our house are one mouse, thankfully just one, spiders sometimes. If they're too big, they're a pest, right? And then I have to rehome them. Mosquitoes. We once had ants come in. They chewed their way through the kitchen wall, which was nice. And 2 Germans. I think that's about it. Ants, yikes, yeah. But that was just 1 year. Dude, I'm just kidding. I love German. I'm German, I'm living in your walls. Alright. That was low. Hans, gibt's die Flammewaffe? Okay, I'm gone now. Dude, I love you guys. I'm just kidding. It is funny though how when the intentions are good and with love, it's okay to make wrong jokes about most nations, but not all. It is interesting how that works. But I'm not here to move boundaries.
It shall be done. For honor. At your call. What's required?
We also don't like kaaskippen, JK. Yeah.
At your call.
Oranje tragt nur das Müllabfuhr. There we go. Self-flame. Deserved self-flame.
Yes, my lord. At your call. At your call.
I think I need to start orienting towards the center. For if I don't, a lich attack could be swift and deadly on my main.
For my people, what would you ask of me?
Ohne Holland fahren wir zur WM. Yeah. I heard those a lot. And I literally don't care. Go ahead and go to the World Championship without us. I'm gonna be at home gaming. So whenever I play against Pala Rifle, as an Undead, I always say, and I think he has an, I'm 99% sure he has an expansion, but not sure. I always say, this build ain't good. You can just fast expand. But I didn't see this guy scout me. So did he fast expand? I don't know. But what I do know is that roses are red, violets are blue. And if this expansion goes through, then I'm gonna be in trouble. Luckily I have greater heal in Pala. I think I'm here on time to cancel the gold mine. He should have been here. His scouting should be better. Or that. That works too. You can just kill my entire...
Job done. What is it? All right.
That works too.
At your call, as you wish. What is it?
I didn't even check if I got the cancel, you know.
Ready to work.
You have a target?
For honor, for my
What do you need?
Let me face the peril. It shall be done.
You have a target? Time
At
to
your
go.
call, as you wish. For honor.
I'm your shooter.
What would you ask of me?
Aye, sir.
It shall be done. Forward. All right. What?
I'm your shooter.
I'm your shitter.
Take care of it. Aye, sir. Aye. Time to go.
Let me face the peril.
I think I'll just go get Staff of Telly. That's how we deal with this.
Ready to work.
You have
2
a
rifles at home.
It shall be done. What would you ask of me? Let me face the peril.
What do you need?
Let me face the pedal.
All of it is required. What is it? Yes, my lord. All of it is required.
What do you need?
Ready to work.
Aye, sir.
Strike with great vengeance. Defending your
I'm your shooter.
at your call. Just sir.
You have a target?
Face the peril. Is near. Spread
I'm your shooter.
Yes, my lord.
Aye,
Job
sir.
done.
I'll take care of it.
I am not afraid. Oh, my shall go. I
What do you need?
forward.
Aye.
At your call. Face the peril. Evil is near. I'm the asker. And forward. Off I go then. Off I go then.
You have a target?
Do you see I am not ready to work. Strike with great vengeance. What would you ask of me? Let me face Sheridan. I am not afraid.
Lock and loading.
At your call.
Now let's see if we can attack his base directly. We're gonna take the battle to Isengard. Guard. As long as he hasn't got an expansion,
For my people, for honor, it shall be done. Job done.
then we can play one-on-one and just tower up our base.
Yes, my lord. Let me face the peril. Justice will be served.
What do you need? Aye.
I am not afraid.
Aye, sir.
At your call.
I'm your shooter.
At your call.
You have a target? What do you need?
Well
Take
played.
care of it.
Let me face the peril. For my job done. What would you ask of me?
If we cancel the graveyard, is very bad for him.
At your call. I am not afraid. You see something.
Thank you. GG. Did you see that? Did you see what he said? He said this. We can now start an investigation where he's from. On which keyboard is the U with accent grave next to the enter key? Because he pressed enter with a symbol, then GG, and then pressed enter. So I have a standard US International big left shift keyboard layout. Hungarian. Okay, so Happy Fans is Hungarian. Then to that I say,
Jó játék!
Jó játék. Good game. Let's go next. What is your issue with Night Elf? New here. Where do I begin? It started a long time ago. I was born in Nieuwegein in 1986. I had 3 older brothers and 2 parents. My grandma lived not far away. Every time during school lunch, I and a brother or I and a friend would visit and she would fry us egg on 2 slices of white bread. My grandma came from Indonesia when my dad was 15 years old.
Off I go then.
After the World War II had ended, it had become untenable to stay in Indonesia as someone with a Dutch last name. So they came here.
What? Off I go then.
It was difficult to adapt initially to life in the Netherlands.
What is it?
My grandpa was well educated,
What? Yes, my lord.
but
Yes, my lord.
he wouldn't be able to get the same job easily in the Netherlands. because of partially a language barrier. Even though he did speak Dutch, he speaks Dutch with an accent. And even though he did have a Dutch name and he got job interviews easily, and his credentials were really good, every time he showed up, something wouldn't work out. Perhaps a little bit of, let's say, adjustment or other slightly more nefarious problems. But eventually he landed well. As for my dad, he was uprooted from his school life and had to start over here, a bit lower in. Eventually he would end up meeting my mother at bridge class, at bridge practice, the bridge club. Bridge was like a big sport back then. It was about as cool as pro gaming is. Though it would never end up getting covered as big as pro gaming eventually. You see, my grandma from Indonesia was a bit of a gamer, and so is my dad. But instead of following his dreams of becoming a pro bridge or a pro chess player, both of which he had good aptitude in, he would end up rescuing, let's say rescuing, yeah, I would say that's fair, my mother from an abusive home situation. They would end up getting married. He gave up his study and career. He gave up his study dreams, let's say, and his pro gaming dreams to get married and get children. Fourth one of which was me. I gamed a lot because my dad was really into tech and always wanted to have the new tech and stuff. First Amiga, first Commodore, never console, always PC and stuff. At later age he would end up getting like a Linux machine just because it's cool and he likes programming. He used to work for Fokker, which is an airplane creation company, as a programmer. Did they change this count? Die! And so it's basically generations of gamers. And so when I grew up, everyone was already playing games. Some of my first played games were RoboCop, Populous 2, all on some kind of machines that I don't remember exactly which model it was. And what was the question again? Oh yeah, why do you hate Night Elf? Yeah, so anyway, played a lot of games growing up. My mother would end up getting a part-time job as a seamstress. My dad would work at the bank. One of my older brothers was not into games. He was more into friendships and a good like social circle and stuff, partying eventually. Two other brothers are really into sports, perhaps more than me, and also into gaming. And I always would play games that they would play. Not everything. I guess I wasn't as big of a fan of chess. Leisure Suit Larry. I feel like Leisure Suit Larry wasn't really my age group, but my oldest two brothers loved it for some reason. I don't know why. They would play things like Gabriel Knight. Bash? Who'd you wanna kill?
What is it?
What's that?
What? All right.
Is it Dennis? Oh, it's Dennis.
What's that?
Forces are under attack. Yes, my lord.
Wait till you see me back. You need. Give me something to do. Yes, my lord.
What? Job's done. What is it? Yes, my lord.
Aye.
All work. All right.
Get on. What you want? Give me something to do. Wait till you see me back.
Job's done. Ready to work.
Eventually, we would discover, and this is a bit of a leap forward, but I'm trying to keep the story short, because you asked, why do I hate Night Elf? We would discover Warcraft 2,
Aye. I'm coming through. Give me something to do.
which led to our love for Blizzard games.
Aye. Brilliant.
Ready to work. Yes, me lord.
Wait till you see me in action. Put him away. I'm coming through.
Let the killing begin.
Put him
What
away.
is it? Yes, me lord.
Aye.
What is it? What? Yes, me lord. Oh, word.
Our town is under siege.
What?
Give me something to do.
Oh,
Brilliant.
word. Yes, me lord.
Wait till you see me in action.
What is it? Oh, word. Yes, me lord. Off I go then. Word.
Aye. Move it.
Recently, someone in my YouTube comment said, is anyone else annoyed when he just tells a story really slow in the first 5 minutes? And I don't understand what they're getting at.
What is
Give me
it?
something to do.
Some people are just never happy, man.
I'm coming through. Orders. Aye. Wait till you see me in action. Wait till you see me in action. Move it. Brilliant.
Because he's not really focusing on the game and he's not really focusing on the story.
Do. Brilliant. Aye. I'm coming through. You need.
Yeah, so Warcraft 3 was actually something one of my older brothers became interested in. We were both pretty interested in it because, you know, love for Blizzard games and all that.
Wait till you see me in action. Move it. Put him away. I'm coming through. Give me something to do. Aye.
Yes, me lord.
Wait till you see me in action.
But then, and we had read in like gameplay magazines and stuff that it was an RPG RTS, both of which we really liked the genre of.
Off I go then. Oh, word.
Give me something.
But once we started playing it, we didn't think it was nearly as good.
Aye. You need. Say the word. Let them say the word.
So we kind of felt dejected when we saw the final result of Warcraft 3. It was way more RTS and way less RPG than we thought, which is ironic now that I look back at it, but that's how we felt. So I was like, I guess I'll just stay a StarCraft 1 player. This game seems more fun. But then a lot of my friends started switching over. They started friends. A lot of people that I vaguely knew started switching over. They were on my friend list. They started switching over to Warcraft 3, and my older brother, I only have older brothers, my youngest older brother started giving it another try. And he really started liking it. So then I started playing it again, because I do anything my older brother does. And I really fell in love with Night Elf, which had a really fun hero called Keeper of the Grove that could entangle peasants and kill them. And I always liked killing workers from StarCraft 1, like with Reaver drop, Lurker drop and stuff. So with Entangle you could come in, you would entangle a thing, and you would just end up killing a worker every time, and I thought, hey, that's a lot of fun. So I started becoming a Night Elf player, but then I tried the different races, and I thought, hey, Orc is a lot of fun. You got Pillage, you got Bloodlust, Blade Master was really cool. Then I became an Orc player, but then I couldn't beat Night Elf, so I think my hatred of Night Elf started early in 2003 in Reign of Chaos. Because I couldn't beat Elf with Orc, I remember messaging MTW Taker once, who I saw play in the WC3L, which is something I didn't play in, and he towered a lot of people, and I thought, he sounds like a reasonable person to ask about how to strategize for a particular matchup and a particular strategy I'm struggling with. He is sure to give a sound, sane, and balanced advice about how to deal with the, you know, the particularities of a Druid of the Claw Dryad strategy. And sure enough, he didn't disappoint. He replied, which I thought was kind of cool because a celebrity replied to me, you know. And he said, just tower them. So I took that to heart. And then I started towering elf, and that helped a lot. But it was more of a proactive cheese than it was really a counter to bears. And eventually, even that wasn't good enough, so I ended up switching to Night Elf. And then the World Cyber Games was coming up in 2003. And then I thought, hey, Night Elf struggles a lot against human. I'm struggling in the qualifiers. Another older brother ended up convincing me to switch to human because I bombed out of the winner bracket WCG qualies. And he said I should give it one more try with human. I was about to quit Warcraft 3 forever. I was done. I was rage quitting. I lost the Night of Mirror 02, stupid matchup. And he's like, why don't you try human? You've played human sometimes for fun, and I think you're pretty good with it. And he's actually a manager of his department now, doing similar things, telling people to play human, except the Warcraft 3 metaphor into business life. He's steering people as like, hey, you're an elf, you're a human, kind of like the Sorting Hat of Harry Potter. But anyway, I ended up switching to human, and I would end up qualifying, and then human was the best race in ROC, so that helped, and it fit me kind of. Then Frozen Throne came out. I switched to Orc because Orc was still my favorite among everything I tried. Human was more of a they're the best in ROC, that's why I'm playing it. And then for the first year or so, everything was fine and dandy. And I feel like every matchup was fine, and nobody knew that. I mean, we knew what we were doing. We were the best, right, of the time. But eventually, the meta refines, it tightens, it narrows, it shallows, right? And soon enough, there's only a couple of metas per matchup. I always tier 2 expand against Undead. Elf always goes Master Druid of the Talon against me. I always go Grand Raider Walker in every matchup except against Undead. And so I only had 2 builds. Night Elf, we only used 1 build against Orc for the most part. And once this build came out, Night Elves that were not even on my radar of threat, right? Let's say I was the best Orc in Europe and top 3 Orc in the world. And that means normally I would only be challenged by top 5 Night Elf world. That's how big the skill gap can be. But the moment the Druid of the Talon strategy came out, there was both an adjustment process by orcs to get used to playing against it, because this elf strategy had seen a lot of research and development, and so it also needs a lot of research and development to conquer it. But the moment this strategy came out, the entire top 100 Night Elf could suddenly beat any top 3 orc for like a year. Or half a year. Like, if you ever think like push-ups aren't enough and you want to add some weights, that's what it was like. Like, if I wanted to practice and just feel challenged, it didn't really matter what strategy. I could just ask any Night Elf in Europe to practice, and I knew that I would have to like concentrate. Do the same with human, undead, or orc. And it's like walk in the park. I need to find a good opponent. But suddenly everyone was good. Every Night Elf was good. It's like, wow, that's amazing. So, yeah, that's when I started thinking, I feel like Elf is easier to execute with than it is to stop them. And also, I feel like the strategy is too strong and too hard to counter. And then, to prove it, I would ask any Elf that disagreed with me to switch race. I play Elf and they Orc, and they could never even remotely win, right? There's no chance. It's so easy. And anytime I play Elf, I can beat any Orc in Europe with my Elf, just playing the Talon strategy. So why do I dislike Elf? Because for such a long time, they have always had some easy cheat builds that are so easy to play, but so effective. And that's why. What was the question? Oh yeah, that was the question.